Hey everybody, Will here from O'Reilly Auto Parts to show you how to change the starter on a 2012 Honda CR-V. Procedures will be similar for most CR-V models from 2011 to 2015. And for this vehicle, there are two ways to complete this repair. From underneath, which is more time-consuming and limits working space, or from the top, which requires additional component removal but saves time and effort. The only additional part you'll need to replace for this job, besides the starter, is your intake manifold gasket. So be sure to have these parts on hand before getting started. Once you've got your supplies together, here's what you'll do. Park on a level surface and make sure the ignition switch is in the lock position. Pop the hood. Use a ratchet and 10mm socket to disconnect and isolate the negative battery cable. Then disconnect the positive battery cable. Use a ratchet and 12mm socket to remove the 6 bolts securing the intake manifold. Your CR-V may also have a bracket connecting the bottom of the intake to the front of the engine accessible from beneath the vehicle. You may choose to remove the intake entirely or tilt the intake toward the front of the engine bay and secure it to the radiator support using a hanger or bungee cords. To remove the intake entirely, you'll also need to remove the manifold sensor connector, the air inlet, and the throttle body hoses. Then you can completely remove the intake from the engine bay. Use your ratchet and 14mm and 17mm sockets to loosen the bolts securing the starter and remove them. Disconnect the battery cable with your ratchet and a 12mm socket and press down on the tab to remove the solenoid connector. Now you can remove the old starter. Compare the old starter with the new one to make sure the design, connections, and dimensions are the same. Move your new starter into place, then reconnect and tighten the battery cable using your 12mm socket, making sure the crimped side of the ring terminal faces away from the starter when installed. Then reinstall the solenoid connector by pressing it into place until it latches. Thread the starter bolts into place. Then use a torque wrench to tighten the 14mm bolt to 33 foot-pounds and the 17mm bolt to 47 foot-pounds. Replace the intake manifold gaskets with new ones. Now you can set the intake manifold back in place, removing any bungees or retainers you may have used to hold it if it was not completely removed. Rethread the manifold bolts by hand. Then torque them to 16 foot-pounds with your 12mm socket and torque wrench. Be sure to also replace and torque the intake manifold bracket if needed. If you disconnected throttle body hoses, the air inlet, or the manifold sensor connector, be sure to reinstall these components as well. Reconnect the battery cables, positive first, then negative, and tighten them with your 10mm socket and ratchet. Close the hood. When you start your vehicle after disconnecting the battery, your display may ask for a 5-digit code to load your presets. You may find that code in your owner's manual, or it may be necessary to call your local Honda dealer and provide your VIN to receive the code. Write this down for the next time you have to disconnect the battery. And that's it! You'll find everything you need for this and other jobs at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com. If you're not completely comfortable doing this yourself, we'd be happy to recommend a professional technician in your area. And be sure to subscribe so you'll see all our new video content. We'll see you again soon.